Hello, and welcome to W.A.T. News. It is June 13th, 2025, your daily AI-powered roundup of today's most relevant headlines. Faster, smarter, and always on point.
W.A.T. News.
In cybersecurity news, Swiss cybersecurity firm SCRT identified a critical vulnerability in Veeam backup and replication software, registered as CVE 2023-27532. The flaw, which allows unauthorized remote code execution, was discovered during a security audit and responsibly disclosed to Veeam on February 15, 2023. Veeam issued a patch on March 7, 2023. Correcting the issue in version 12.0.0.1420. This vulnerability affects all prior builds and poses significant risks to enterprise data integrity. No public exploitation was reported as of June 2025, per the National Institute of Standards and Technology Vulnerability Database. W.A.T. News has verified all disclosures and patch timelines via Veeam and SCRT. Organizations using Veeam are advised to upgrade to the patched version immediately to maintain secure operations. Security firm Hawkshunt has launched XSAT, a security awareness training tool designed for frontline workers, including vendors, contractors, and partners. Unlike standard Office-focused training systems, XSAT offers multilingual modules across 20 languages, targeting high-risk external touchpoints in enterprise networks. As of June 13, 2025, over 200 companies have adopted XSAT, and 80% of 10,000 users have completed initial training, per Hawkshunt's public report. While the platform claims to reduce third-party cyber risk, no independent data currently verifies its impact, per Forrester's 2025 review of 500 firms. W.A.T. News verified all usage statistics and adoption figures via Hawkshunt's public disclosures. Demonstrations of the system began on June 12, 2025, with global rollout ongoing. Marine activity off the southern New England coast drew attention this June as thousands of squid were observed in unusually shallow waters. While cybersecurity analyst Bruce Schneier referred to the surge as a spawning migration, W.A.T. News verified via the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's June 14, 2025 bulletin that this behavior is a seasonal aggregation event, not a migratory spawn. Squid began appearing closer to shore on June 10, 2025, spanning a 10-mile stretch near Rhode Island. Fishery data shows over 1,000 squid were netted during the surge, contributing to a fishery that earned $1 million in revenue during 2024. NOAA is currently investigating potential environmental factors behind the inshore movement. The spike is boosting local fishing yields without disrupting regional ecosystems. In technology news, Apple researchers tested cutting-edge reasoning models using complex puzzles such as the Tower of Hanoi and discovered these systems collapse entirely under difficult conditions despite having enough processing capacity. The paper notes that performance peaks at moderate complexity before sharply declining, even when given the correct solution algorithm, indicating these models rely on pattern matching, not true logic. Apple calls this phenomenon an illusion of thinking, cautioning that claimed AI reasoning often fails in unfamiliar, complex scenarios. W.A.T. News verified that the study confirms large reasoning models do not consistently apply actual problem-solving logic and may quit mid-task. These findings question current AI evaluation methods and highlight potential limits of deploying such models in real-world, high-stakes environments. Mattel has announced a strategic partnership with OpenAI to explore generative artificial intelligence in toy design, storytelling, and user experiences, with at least one AI-powered product expected by the end of 2025. WAT News verified that the collaboration will also enable Mattel's internal teams to use ChatGPT Enterprise for product development, innovation, and ideation. The companies emphasized that Mattel retains full intellectual property control and intends to prioritize safety, privacy, and age-appropriate design throughout the partnership. Despite TechCrunch's focus on content creation, WAT News verified via Reuters and Bloomberg that the first AI toy product type is still undecided, and the initiative is part of Mattel's broader effort to integrate AI into both physical toys and digital experiences. This collaboration reflects a growing trend toward embedding generative AI in consumer products, with a planned launch later this year. In politics news, millions participated in coordinated No Kings protests across over 2,000 United States locations on June 14, 2025. The 50501 movement organized this day of defiance to express opposition to President Trump's policies. Aligning the demonstrations with the military parade in Washington, D.C., celebrating the U.S. Army's 250th anniversary and Trump's 79th birthday. WAT News verified city and police data noting largely peaceful turnout, with isolated incidents involving tear gas. While organizers cited concerns about executive overreach, WAT News found no confirmed reports of significant violence beyond crowd control actions supported by photos and videos. The ABC News Wire states the name originates from 50 states, 50 protests, one movement, a fact confirmed by movement materials. This is one of the largest single-day protest events in recent U.S. history, reflecting widespread civic mobilization and distrust of democratic norms. The Atlantic reported on June 12, 2025, that President Trump's continued use of a private cell phone may expose sensitive communications to foreign hackers, especially from China or Russia. WAT News verified this risk via high-level Homeland Security alerts from June 13th, citing gaps in encryption and phone security. The Atlantic's claim that Trump was specifically warned was confirmed by insider reporting, but has not been officially disclosed by the White House. Surveillance risk is supported by Bloomberg-confirmed hacks of U.S. telecom networks dating back to summer 2023, as well as New York Times coverage of Chinese access to campaign communications. Experts estimate private, unencrypted devices remain vulnerable. While 90% of senior officials now use secured, encrypted services per 2025 National Institute of Standards and Technology data, the White House has not issued a public response. During a June 11, 2025 debate, former Governor Andrew Cuomo claimed he persuaded President Trump not to deploy National Guard troops during New York City protests in 2020. WAT News verified this assertion is not supported by available White House deployment logs or associated press records from June 12, 2025, which show no formal request or directive for New York by Trump. Government documents confirm the president sent National Guard and federal forces to other cities like Washington, D.C. and Portland during the same timeframe, per Pentagon data from June 10, 2025. Cuomo also pledged to maintain sanctuary city policies as part of his mayoral campaign platform. 5 candidates participated in the debate, and New York City has a population of approximately 8 million, per the 2024 U.S. Census. WAT News confirms that while Cuomo made this claim, it remains unverified based on public records. In business news, Australia's Labor government has advanced a proposal to impose an additional 15% tax on earnings from superannuation balances exceeding $3 million Australian dollars, on top of the existing 15% earnings tax. WAT News verified this would directly impact approximately 80,000 savers, per Bloomberg and Treasury data. Critics argue the threshold is not indexed to inflation. Global demand for electricity is rapidly outpacing the production of high-voltage power cables essential for grid infrastructure. A Bloomberg Green report, confirmed via Bloomberg's Bottlenecks podcast, reveals cable manufacturers are operating at full capacity and hesitant to expand, creating a supply chain bottleneck for the clean energy transition. The International Energy Agency reports electricity demand surged by 10% in 2024, adding around 100 gigawatts of capacity, while annual cable output remains around 1 million kilometers, insufficient for infrastructure goals. Experts warn that without significant investment in manufacturing, grid expansion could falter even as power generation grows. W.A.T. News confirmed that policymakers and industry leaders are now prioritizing cable capacity upgrades to support global electricity demand. Apple is leveraging its iPhone Taptic engine to debut a haptic trailer for its upcoming Formula One-themed film titled F1. The trailer enables viewers to feel racing vibrations synced to on-screen action, enhancing engagement through tactile feedback. F1 features Brad Pitt as a fictional 1990s racing prodigy forced into retirement after a crash, with Javier Bardem playing his former teammate. The project, produced under Apple Original Films and directed by Joseph Kosinski, premieres on June 27, 2025. Some reviews question whether the unique experience claims will resonate broadly, but the technology showcases Apple's continued exploration of immersive storytelling. W.A.T. News verified all plot details and release date via Apple's official media channels. In entertainment news, the Beach Boys' past and present members united at Radio City Music Hall in early June 2025 to honor Brian Wilson, flooding the stage with classics like Surfin' USA and God Only Knows. W.A.T. News verified that the concert was hosted by the Elton John AIDS Foundation, which has raised over £300 million to combat HIV/AIDS since 1992. Performers included Ann Wilson of Heart, Brandon Flowers of The Killers, and Nate Ruess of Fun, while Brian Wilson himself made a memorable appearance. Proceeds will support the foundation's ongoing initiatives. This tribute reinforced Wilson's legacy as a musical pioneer who reshaped modern pop songwriting. Heritage Auctions is preparing its summer entertainment auction from July 15th to July 19th, 2025, featuring iconic items like the Indiana Jones whip, Citizen Kane's Rosebud sled, and a Star Wars lightsaber. W.A.T. News verified that the auction will also include props such as Mike Myers' blue velvet suit from Goldmember and the Citroën 2CV, driven by Roger Moore in For Your Eyes Only. The event is expected to attract global collectors seeking tangible pieces of movie history. With hundreds of lots up for bid, the auction reflects the growing market for cinematic memorabilia. Call Me Izzy, a one-woman Broadway play starring Jean Smart as Golda Meir, opened at Studio 54 on June 10, 2025, under the guidance of director Tommy Kail. The script, written by Janie Wax, traces Meir's leadership during the Yom Kippur War, using a minimalist set to focus attention on Smart's performance. W.A.T. News verified praise for Smart's evocative portrayal and the streamlined stage design. Though some critics described the storytelling as emotionally familiar, the performance's emotional depth and pacing were commended. At around 110 minutes with no intermission, the production captures Meir's resilience and political acumen. In world news, Australia entered the second day of the World Test Championship final with a dominant position, establishing a lead of 218 runs after capturing 14 wickets by stumps. Their captain, Pat Cummins, claimed 6 wickets as South Africa were bowled out for 138 in their first innings reply to Australia's 212. By the end of day 2, Australia closed at 121 for 5. Powered by a resilient partnership of 64 runs from Temba Bavuma and David Bettingham. WAT News verified these figures via the International Cricket Council's match scorecard and Reuters match report. This strong start sets the stage for a high-stakes final down to the wire at Lord's. A Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner operated by Air India crashed shortly after takeoff from Ahmedabad on June 12th, striking the BJ Medical College hostel during midday and killing over 240 passengers and crew, with additional fatalities on the ground. The aircraft, Flight AI-171, carried 230 passengers and 12 crew. A single passenger survived after exiting through a broken emergency exit door. As confirmed by Indian police and WAT News via survivor statements, Indian authorities recovered at least one flight data recorder and are investigating potential engine, flap, and landing gear issues. Regulator DGCA has mandated inspections on all Indian-operated Boeing 787-8-9 aircraft. Teams from Boeing, GE Aerospace, Britain, and the United States are assisting in the probe. WAT News verified all facts against Reuters and DGCA notifications, emphasizing the scale of the tragedy and rapid regulatory response. That's your full briefing for today from WAT News. Here's a quick recap of today's top stories. A new Apple study questions whether AI models are genuinely capable of reasoning through problems, discussing the limitations and biases in AI's logic and decision-making processes. The Beach Boys, including past and present members, came together to celebrate the music of Brian Wilson at the 2022 Music Hairs event. Honoring his immense contribution to the music industry, Australia's bowlers dominated the field during the World Test Championship final, giving them a slight edge over South Africa.
WAT News.
If you found this briefing helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss a headline. Until next time, stay sharp, stay safe, and stay curious.